Bhupendra Patel now to be the Chief Minister of Gujarat, a year ahead of polls. The decision has now been made. Rajdeep, like Rahul had earlier mentioned, we of course saw now a little while ago, Amit Shah, the Home Minister, has congratulated Bhupendra Patel, saying that under Prime Minister Modi's leadership, Bhupendra Patel will ensure that development in Gujarat will be energized henceforth. Of course, the wishes were expected, but nonetheless, as per history, it doesn't seem like Amit Shah could have been the most enthusiastic or excited with this announcement, considering that he was Anandiben's man. Bhupendra Patel, we understand, is Anandiben's close associate. He's very, he is, in fact, Anandiben's pick. And from this decision, it appears that Anandiben possibly still wields a huge influence on the electorate even now in Gujarat.
Look, I think it's more in the context of what happened between 2014 and 17. You see, in 2014, Amit Shah ji comes to Delhi. He becomes the BJP president. Mr. Modi is the prime minister. There's a vacuum in Gujarat. Anandiben Patel fills the vacuum. And by 2016, there's a sense that Anandiben Patel may be becoming a power unto herself. What happens next is that the BJP decides it's time to act. And Mr. Shah, who's then the BJP state president, the BJP central president, chooses Vijay Rupani, his main man in Gujarat, who had just earlier been made a minister in Anandiben's cabinet, as the chief minister of Gujarat. So you have a lightweight from a Jain community, not the dominant Patel community, who is Amit Shah's man, who's ensconced in Ahmedabad, and Anandiben Patel loses out. That happens in 2016. In 2021, in a strange way, we've seen the reverse of that. A kind of nehle pe dhela, because what has happened is that Vijay Rupani, close associate of Amit Shah, this time loses to someone who's a close associate of Anandiben Patel. I mentioned this earlier. The Ghatlodia seat was given to Bhupendra Patel after the prodding of Anandiben Patel. Anandiben Patel's first choice was her daughter Anar. She didn't get the seat, so she gave it to her associate, who was the Ahmedabad Municipal Corporation Standing Committee chief, as a first-time MLA. And what happens within 4 years? The first-time MLA becomes chief minister. I'd love to know how many first-time MLAs across the country have become chief ministers. And that's why I drew a parallel in a way with also Indira Gandhi and what she would do when she was the imperious high command. This decision, I repeat, was taken in Delhi, implemented in Gandhinagar. The BJP needed a Patel face because the Congress has been pushing the Patidar caste. The Aam Aadmi Party, which is also trying to make a dent in Gujarat, is also playing that card. Therefore, the BJP needed to get back its core Patel vote, which has been the basis on which it has moved ahead. And you can go back to Keshubhai Patel, the first BJP chief minister in 1995. The Patels have been at the heart of the BJP's ascent to power. In the last 3 years, after Anandiben Patel got sidelined and then eventually became governor, there was a sense the BJP was losing this vote bank. So they needed a Patel face. Now, there were various options. You could have gone in for a real generational change for Mansukh Mandavia, who's Mr. Modi's man, now the health minister of the country. But because he was a union minister, there was a sense that barely having become a minister 3 months ago, it would be inappropriate to move him at this stage to Gandhinagar. But had you made him, you would have seen a real generational change, because he is seen by many as the future of the BJP in Gujarat. I see the appointment here of Bhupendra Patel as a stopgap arrangement with one eye on the 2022 election, get back the Patel vote. But he's not the face who's going to electrify Gujarat.
It lost a lot of ground because the Patidars were unhappy. Anandiben Patel as a chief minister could not handle the Patidar agitation of 2015, and there was a lot of erosion of vote. But that does not diminish the importance of the Patidar vote. Out of the 6 crore population of Gujarat, Patidars are little over 1.5 crore. If you look at the BJP's 48% vote share, sometimes since 2012 and others, you will find that 1/4 of it support comes from the Patidar. Today, almost 1/3 of MLAs of the BJP in Gujarat Assembly are Patidars. 7 of the top ministers are Patels. Given the pelf and especially the kind of switching which happened of votes in the 80s, when the Congress came up with what is called the Kham theory, Kshatriya, Harijan, Adivasi and Muslim vote, that is the time hinging around as reservations. The Patel vote shifted en masse to the BJP, and then since then it has stayed loyal to the BJP, barring the blip, or a very strong blip in 2015. As far as Mr. Bhupendra Patel is concerned, it's a very interesting story. That in 2017, when tickets were being distributed, there were two very strong camps. One was the Anandiben camp and the other was the Amit Shah camp. And for the Ghatlodia constituency, in fact, the centre BJP was looking at people like Mr. Rajdeep Patel, Dr. Rajdeep Patel, who was the Yuva Morcha chief of Gujarat, and he was being backed by Delhi. But at that time, Anandiben put her foot down and picked up Bhupendra Patel. So definitely some bit of dynamics within the BJP being realignments taking place. The fact is that a one-time MLA has been put in only because he's a Patel is a very interesting factor. That will he energize the BJP as far as the lost rural vote is concerned? Will he be the perfect mascot of the BJP for attracting the Patel vote? These are the bigger questions today to be debated, because what one was expecting, that somebody like a Nitin Patel, who has a long track record of having played partidar politics, is perhaps the point. Prime Minister Narendra Modi, in fact, yesterday addressed a function of the Patel community. That shows the kind of significance the BJP attaches to the Patel vote.
Yeah.
But does Mr. Patel fit in? That's a choice that the Prime Minister Narendra Modi has clearly made.